Hi, this is GiGi, and I have another book to you to read today. This one's about a green grasshopper called Greg. Let's find Greg. Let's see if we can find him. Where could Greg be? Do you see Greg? I see Greg. There's Greg. There's Greg the Grasshopper. See his antennas and his legs? His legs have stickers on them to make it so he can hold on to trees and branches. Let's read the book, Greg the Green Grasshopper's Great Adventure. One day, while sitting in a tree, Greg spotted something bright and shiny and orange. Using his long legs, Greg took a giant leap and he landed on what he soon discovered was a mirror. Greg couldn't help but to admire the beautiful shade of green that was his reflection. He also admired his own cute little orange eyes. While Greg was looking at himself in the mirror, the bright orange machine started to move. He wanted to jump back to his treehouse, but it was too late. At first, Greg was frightened, but then he decided to focus and hang on with all of his might. As Greg used his legs to grip and hold on tight as could, the orange machine started to move faster and faster. Wee, wee, wee! Greg shouted as he realized this was actually fun. After a while, the orange machine came to a stop. As Greg looked around, he realized he was in a parking lot filled with lots of different colored machines. Greg was so tired from all of the excitement on the ride that he decided to take a nap. After a while, Greg was awakened by the sound of the orange machine, and it started to move again. Greg had just enough time to adjust his legs and hold on for dear life. Down the road, the orange machine flew again. Wee, 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 Greg yelled with excitement. He was enjoying the ride. Soon the bright orange machine stopped again. When Greg climbed up the mirror and looked around, he saw a sign that said post office. As Greg looked around, he saw lots of people walking and getting into different colored machines. Greg couldn't help but wonder if any of his friends were riding on them too. They didn't stay there long. Soon the bright orange machine started down the road again. This time it did not go very fast, and as Greg looked to his right, he spotted a beautiful painting on the side of a building. Greg's antennas blew softly in the wind as they traveled down the road. Soon the orange machine turned into a small parking lot. Greg wasn't sure where, so he climbed down and saw his reflection in the mirror once again. Greg also saw in the mirror a sign that read Mrs. D's Italian Ice. It sounded like something nice and sweet to eat. But just as Greg thought he might hop off to explore what could be, the orange machine started to move again. Greg had just enough time to readjust his tiny legs to hold on tight. At first, the orange machine moved slowly and sometimes stopped completely. Greg decided while the machine was stopped, he would readjust himself and move to a more comfortable spot. Just as Greg gripped his tiny little legs on a good spot, the orange machine started to move faster and faster. Wee, wee, wee! Greg yelled as they swiftly traveled down the road. He was having the time of his life. Finally, the orange machine came to a final stop. As Greg looked around, he realized he was once again back at his tree home. Greg was so excited about his great adventure. He couldn't wait to go back to his home in the green tree and to tell his family all that he had seen. As Greg steadied himself, he took one last look in the mirror at his beautiful green body and bright orange eyes. Goodbye, fast orange machine, and thank you for the fun adventure. Greg took one giant leap and hopped back to his home in the green tree nearby. The end. Thank you, Greg, for taking us on an adventure. We like grasshoppers, don't we?